It's always very sympathetic, you know, when you start something and you have 95% of individuals around you that say it's not going to work. You need at a certain stage a belief, a personal belief that this is going to work. And this was my belief. I was convinced that by moving step by step with the angle of attack, the strategy that we had defined, it would work. And then you have to listen, you have to take into account, but at a certain stage you have to go. And one day on the 12th December 2013, in a small little castle in the outskirts of Paris, we decided to go. And then, you know, I had 6 weeks to build a team.
The main idea is to build this community with the most important players in each country.
Gaël Escribe proposed another challenge, another vision in this industry. And in order to accomplish that, he has bring a certain number of people.
When Gaël Escribe called me and just to tell me, Eric, I have something to tell you. And we have this discussion quite early, and he told me, and I'm not original probably, but I was very surprised when he told me that he had one idea, which is to create a new ITG. Gaël was so motivated, was so convincing, but at the end of the call, I say, okay, Gaël, I'm part of your project.
This is a vision behind, that this is active, and here you see all the new things, the startups and what everything is in Nexus. So the change is really amazing with the speed I never saw before.
It was interesting right from the beginning because I have felt that innovation and the power of that of Nexus with all these new ideas, new approaches, and that was making me curious to be part of that discussion and being part of the support of Nexus.
Until Nexus came, we were looking at ITG as a very static activity and not very dynamic. And the promise, and I think this is very important of Gaël and the team, was Nexus will not be only an ITG to ask you to pay at the end of the year your percentage, but we will be an ITG, we will help you to develop the business and grow the business together for the Nexus community, but also for the supplier. And this is for us what was new, very interesting, challenging, and a fantastic opportunity.
10 years ago, I think it was very difficult to expect at this time something. I think it was more based on trust. Alone we go fast, but together we go further.
Our philosophy was to include small to medium-sized companies and to cover the whole world.
For us, it was a matter of be connected to the world, to be part of something big that at that moment was followed by very, very few companies. I remember we were maybe 8 companies at the beginning, so not much.
Gaël and the team has been successfully convincing 9 entrepreneurs, 9 distributors coming from different countries, different continents, to trust him, to trust us, to bring their volume, to bring their appetite, to bring their energy and their ambition to make something new for the aftermarket. The fundamental focus was at the beginning on fast-growing markets, going in those markets where older cars, older vehicles deserve parts, but to be better organized, better distributed, better equipped.
So the main idea was to refresh something that had been created in the 70s with auto-distribution. You know, we were decades after the kickoff of this model, the ITG. And the idea was simply to take the dust out, have a clear vision of what global means, what digital means, what consolidation means, etc., etc., and try to build an organization that would be fully aligned with the expectation of the market.
For our everyday life, it changed because we were introduced to suppliers all over the world that we had no previous relationship with, and also some existing suppliers that we have done business with. We've established now relationships with their leadership team at their global headquarters, mostly in Europe, and that's all because of Nexus.
It's a wonderful story, a success story. I've never met a community who is growing like this, like hell. So every year, new family members. And we are really happy that we can be a part of this great, great family.
So my obsession was take off, okay? So I had not in mind, and I didn't forecast, you know, a fast rise of this community, certainly not. But after, let's say, 3 years, I saw that we were moving into a global dimension. Then I started to, you know, to be aware, to be convinced that we could build the largest automotive aftermarket community.
Gael did a fantastic job externally and Thierry internally, so they are beasts, they are monsters, and continuously bring new members to the group. Was a fantastic experience, believe me. It was incredible.
Nexus is the first ITG that is started looking outside Europe and looking for areas that is growing faster than the old continent.
The angle of attack was simple. We attack Africa, we attack the Middle East, you know, and then we spread ourselves among all the emerging markets, the fast-growing markets, and then we get back to mature markets and we build a global community.
It's certainly true that some of the other trading groups are groups of groups, if you like, which means it's more difficult to come up with a unified approach, to think about the way to drive forwards. And certainly one of the benefits of Nexus is that much more unified approach, which allows decisions to be made.
Some of the big ones join also Nexus in all the area of the world. And as a supplier, this was really important for us because a supplier wants to develop his business, wants to grow his market share. And Nexus has been a strong supporter and support.
Of course, we have some good and big members in Nexus, but the majority of the companies that are under the umbrella of Nexus are medium-sized to small-sized companies, and these are good companies. You know, they're having a good market share in their markets, and they are professional, and they do very good work.
95% of the business of Nexus is driven by family business, by family groups, by entrepreneurs, by people who have put the blood, the energy, the story, the family in those companies. We understand that a family group needs different support as compared to a big corporate who is looking for a different type of synergies, different type of strategy. The capacity of Nexus to adapt, the capacity of the people in Nexus to adapt, and to always expect to bring this value to those entrepreneurs, to commit to bring them those values is what makes us being different, definitely, and also what makes us having this appetite to go to the next step permanently without any limit.
One of the characteristics of Nexus is the creativity and to bring something different. They are not expected where they are expected to be.
The identity of Nexus is modernity, future, and innovation.
I think the first word that pops into my head is progressive community. Very forward-looking, constantly on the cutting edge of the aftermarket globally.
Independence, community, and convincing.
Innovation, drive, and challenge.
Of course, starting in fast-growing market was a challenge. But having seen the way this was moving on, this way it was working, it has, of course, triggering the interest from matured market, from all the key leaders, to also consider us on a real value creator.
In 9 years, we have not doubled or quadrupled. It's more than 10 times the figure that we have started off with in 2014. I mean, this is a remarkable achievement.
For sure, it goes very fast. Everything went very fast, but we are still permanently managing a lot of different initiatives, a lot of different projects, challenge, and this will not change because that's the nature of the management that we've been implementing in Nexus, and that's the nature of the team, which is now pushing us to keep on moving and to keep on growing like that.
The transformation of Nexus from a challenger to a leader, obviously it's taken time. It's not an easy thing to do, but just the drive and the persistence of the leadership and the entire team at Nexus has certainly allowed that to happen.
We were growing and growing and growing. We became number 5, and then number 4, and number 3, and number 2. Now we are number 1. This is what I say, you know, in 9 years only. So this is an excellent achievement, excellent.
I think that Nexus respects the DNA from its member. It means independence and entrepreneurship spirits of its member, and that's the reason why Nexus increased in terms of member everywhere in the world.
Progressive thinking that they have really continues to push us as members, continues to lead us into a more forward-thinking direction, keeps us on the forefront and the cutting edge, if you will, of what's going on in our industry and in the world today.
Nexus has evolved to more than a buying group. Now we are getting partnerships with our members and with our suppliers on certain projects and certain investments that all the 3 parties are interested in. Actually, it's the industry which is interested in. And we have exceeded other competitors in that arena by far, because nobody else is doing what we are doing.
We understood quickly that Nexus will be a game changer, but we were not sure that it will become the leader. They really engage us on their development, and we have seen that the drive for result, the vision of the future of Nexus, and the way they have built their strategy help us to ensure that after 10 years, Nexus is the leader and will continue to be the leader in this world.
Nobody was expecting this tremendous performance, the tremendous growth of Nexus. But there was the DNA first when we were challenger, and they were obsessed to make growth. They were obsessed to move to a more sustainable aftermarket. And at the end, they would like to accompany all the independent workshop in the EV and the ADAS transition.
We are continuing to reinventing ourselves as a company, as we do every day. We don't want to be an old-fashioned company. We want to be a leader, not only by the size, but by innovation too.
So progressively, by diversifying and by keeping this appetite, of every single morning going basically with a conquest mindset, into your daily life. I think with this mindset, with the diversification, we've kept a very strong leadership.
So, have we fixed some limits? No. Are we surprised on how fast we went? Yes, very probably. But are we happy with where we are? It's only the beginning.
Staying number one is not a wish, huh? I mean, everybody would like to be number one. If they are number two, then they would like to be number one. If they're number one, then they would like to stay number one. It's a matter of competition, but I think what we are doing in this industry so far, I would think that we will stay for some good time number one. There are some other challenges that we have to address, other than competition.
We have leadership, and we have now the duty to keep this leadership, and to do so, we'll have to constantly align ourselves to a transformation that will probably accelerate in the coming 10 years. So believe that that's the main challenge.
A lot of new changes are coming in the next 10 to 15 years. And my dream is that Nexus is not only part of that, but the leader of that.
One field is to give our members the possibility to improve the purchasing, to go back to the spare parts, to go for the help and the commitment with the suppliers. By another side, we have the investment part of the business. So we are investing in mobility since many years already, and we're going to continue. We need to make a wider view of the market and to work with the same power in these both sides of the business, which just are going to bring us to a new step, to a new future, and we need to help our members to do it.
I see Nexus as a group having capacity to be transactional, having capacity to act in the consolidation. I see Nexus also having capacity to show with proudness how sustainability is also in the center of our industry, and how can we focus also on bringing more sustainability with mobility within our business scope.
We are fully aware that road transportation accounts for more than 18% of CO2 emission. And this is not a new or recent wake-up call. It is at the heart of our strategy to reduce the CO2 emissions for more than now 14 years old. And we really see that as a lever of growth. At the end of the day, we are convinced that but also we can do our part to really contribute to a more sustainable aftermarket.
Having said that, I think it's also important for the aftermarket to recognise that electric vehicles are not the only solution. And I think that we need to be aware that when you think about climate issues and sustainability, internal combustion is not the enemy. Fossil fuels are the enemy, and there will inevitably be, or definitely be, new clean fuels which can use combustion. So we should be ready for that as well.
Of course, we are proud of being Nexus, that's for sure. But being proud to be at where we are at that moment, we're exactly on the right trend to follow the plan that we drew up 10 years ago for Nexus, and we'll be proud, very probably in the next 10 years, to develop much more, to enter in much more initiative, to keep on investing, because we still want to be a big, significant contributor to the evolution of our industry.
We want to be fresh, we want to have the appetite, we want to conquest, we want to think, and we want to adapt to this extreme transformation that is happening. Beyond that, I'm very, very proud about the fact that we have built a united community. It's worth gold, platinum, I would say. We have this human capital, this leadership, and this mindset that is unique and that will bring us through this second decade with, I think, lots of success. And I'm proud to have constituted this group of people that is now, responsible for the second decade.